So, we're going to keep talking about glamour magic. I really enjoyed the interactions that I had with the last video. So, now I'm just going to keep coming to y'all real and raw and just being my authentic self because I've really gotten away from that. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Calypso Spiritual Healing, and my handle is the Spiritual Mermaid. And up there, like the purpose of that, like the whole idea was like the magic is my message. And because people love popcorn, sensational bullshit, right? Like, let's be real. Stuff that you can easily digest and just, it's like a little light snack that makes you feel good spiritually. I started doing like little trendy shit on my YouTube channel. But the reality is, I'm a full course meal. I am not a little snack. You got to take your time and digest me. Okay? And I just want to talk more about the discourse between glamour magic and dark femininity and womanhood. And a lot of times, I try to keep my videos very gender neutral to include everybody because that's just where I'm at with it. I want everybody to be included in my magic and what I'm doing because I genuinely believe that gender is a spectrum, but I also believe that the law of gender exists, and no matter what, we all have a polarity. We all have a version of yin, or we all have a version of yang. But this video, I'm speaking specifically about the experience of naturally born cisgender women. So bear with me. This really isn't meant for a big, huge discourse, but if that happens, that happens. If it doesn't, that's not my intention of this video. But I see so many videos right now, particularly like we're talking about because we have the Venus and Pisces transit going on until February, about how you can use your femininity to get ahead. You can also use, like we see hella videos on here about how you can use dark femininity to get what you want out of men. You can use your dark femininity to get what you want out of life. You could be able to get a situation and garner a situation where you can maximize on your sexuality, sensuality, femininity, dark femininity, that very pure expression of feminine energy in order to garner certain things into your material reality. And I'm saying this to say that, that aspect of femininity and how people are using it, how can I say this? Instant gratification cannot come in your spiritual journey. Like, your spiritual journey cannot lead to instant gratification. There's a part of this where we are still we're not just using the physical woman of a body. What? The physical body of a woman. That's what I'm trying to say. In order to use her for getting a child, using her to curate a business deal, using her to perform acts of labor or acts of service. Now we're using the metaphysical aspects of a woman to do those same things. And there's a part of that to me that comes off intrinsically patriarchal, especially when you are adopting ideas of femininity that might not be inherent to who you actually are as a woman who is living the lived experience in your physical flesh as a woman. Like, as Audre Lorde says, I feel, therefore I am. We carry the embodiment of what it means to be a woman by simply existing in a woman's form. And I think it's so easy to idealize how to be a woman, how to seduce a man, what it would be like if a person was in the body of a woman and what they would do. But there's a reason why a lot of us women, especially those of us who are in America, feel very uncomfortable doing some of the things that people idealize doing, right? There's a reason why we feel like we have to hold ourselves at a specific place or do things in a specific way because of this very real lived experience of being a woman. It's not an idea. And I feel like when you curate your femininity and your spirituality as a way to just consume, as a way to just receive, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I really have to construct this, verbally, because I feel like there's a lot of that going on. When you're just consuming and consuming and consuming, you don't win. The women that I really see thriving and succeeding from glamour magic, from black cat energy, from using their divine feminine nature, dark essence, they already have that. Or they've been placed in a family with like aunts, sisters, mom, grandma, great grandma, who have taught them that practice over the years. Therefore, it's become ancestral. It's a practice that they were able to initially inherit, right? So they can do those things with men and it be completely normal, and they garner things that they want from it. They garner what they know should be in their reality. Versus women who I see that don't necessarily have that energy, or might not necessarily be coming from that spiritual lineage, because for real, everything we do has to come from our ancestors in some form or fashion. Your ancestors come first. If you're not exalting the divine feminine from your heart place, from a heart-centered place, why would you expect to garner material over and over again because you wrote a petition and lit a candle? Or because you wear some lingerie underneath your clothes and then choose to go on dates with men to do X and Y and Z and get this and this and that. That should be a physical and metaphysical exchange, right? Your vibration, the law of vibration, should match what it is that you are innately carrying. So I feel like there is something patriarchal in putting up this facade on how a woman should be. And we're carrying that ourselves within the spiritual community. We are making a caricature of divine femininity when it's so multifaceted, when it's multiplicitous. That in itself, to me, is not radical. That's not all the way transformative. Like, absolutely, the feminine 4B movement, because I'm a women's studies major. I went to college for women's studies. I'm also an English major, double major in women's studies and English. So I've written tons of essays and documents on what I feel about the divine feminine experience, especially from a theological perspective, and what it means to have the perspective of a person who is walking in their divine feminine consciousness, who is choosing to be outside of patriarchal norms based off of the radical act of self-love, of sensuality, of sexuality, of pure feminine embracing your femininity. But I am not for pimping out the divine feminine to get what you want. And I guess that's just my spirit team coming through and just giving our 2 cents. Because yes, we should be radically believing in ourselves. Absolutely. We should be speaking life into ourselves. We should be pouring into ourselves. We should be proud of ourselves. But we should not be pimping ourselves out. Pimping out our sacral chakras. Pimping out our heart chakras. Manipulating people all the time to garner things. Baby, they should just want to give that shit to you because you've been giving it to yourself. The glamour should work because you are pouring love into yourself. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to stay with it. I always make little mistakes when I'm speaking. But this is very important too for those of us who are naturally yin oriented. Because I feel like yang oriented people have a really easy time mimicking energy and putting energy in a certain perspective and directing it in a certain way. Yin people just flow. We just do shit because we just exist, and that is a core difference between the laws of polarity. Even if egoically in your physical flesh, you present as feminine, might be different. Yeah, these are uncomfortable conversations that people might not want to have, but fuck it. That's what we're doing. Happy Mars Day.